Hi everyone, my name is John Cottrell and welcome to Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice and glad that you're here. So for a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga class, that means we're going to be moving pretty consistently throughout the practice. There'll be a few breaks, obviously, but we're just moving with breath. That's kind of the flow and the sequence of how our yoga practice will go. Now, our theme for today, or the thing that we're going to be focusing on today, are binds. Okay, binds are just ways of just kind of tying yourself in a knot in a way. So I'll be demonstrating and be flowing through some binding postures in our yoga practice. So for your props today, you might want to grab a couple of yoga blocks. I like to have blocks, and sometimes I teach with them specifically, sometimes I don't. But for this class, you might want to have something like some blocks, but it could even be like a couple of pillows, like small pillows from your couch or sofa, something like that. That should be sufficient for this practice. If you'd like to have something soft to kneel on or sit on, like a blanket or pillow, go ahead and grab that. And some bottled water is always nice too. All right, so we've got our yoga mats rolled out. We are ready to go. So I invite you to stand nice and tall near the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart. Toes are pointing forward here. We like to take these first few moments of our practice just to establish connection, awareness, and really prepare our bodies and our minds for our moving practice. So you're welcome to close your eyes or just soften your eyes. You might just gaze forward or downward. Taking some slow, deep breaths in and out. You might breathe in through your nose and just feel the breath just rising up to fill up your lungs. Then a slow and controlled exhale. Again, breathing in, feeling your breath rising upward. It might allow you to even stand up a little taller. Lungs expanding. And then as you exhale, we're adding another sensation. You want to draw your navel inward towards your spine. It's a contraction or an engagement of your abdominal muscles. We call that the abdominal lock. Again, slow, deep breaths. You want to breathe in a way that you can hear your breath and certainly feel your breath as it moves through you. Again, a nice way just to focus, to be aware, and just come to the present moment. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out, and we'll start our movement together. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach all the way up. Exhale, we're going to fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down, perhaps touching your toes or the ground. Inhale and slide your hands up to your shins, your knees, or even your thighs to extend your spine so you're just halfway folding right there. Exhale and fold back down. And we'll just hold here for several breaths so you can start to feel a lengthening or a stretch quality down through the backs of your legs. And if you hang heavily forward here or just kind of go heavy with the body or weightless, you feel this, you can feel gravity draw you downward through the crown of your head towards the earth. You get this natural curvature in the spine. And there might be even some release in the low back area. From here, shifting your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees and imagine you're sitting down into a chair. Look forward and then extend your arms out and then up into the air as you're standing up tall. Reach for the sky, stretch, and then exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Very good. All right, we're going to do that once again, same sequence here. Inhale, reach into the air, big stretch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Again, a good hinge of your hips, bent knees, making your way down, perhaps touching your toes. Inhale, rise up halfway, full length of spine. Exhale, fold. Brief pause down here. Once again, shift your weight back towards your heels. Bend your knees, lower your hips like you're going to sit down. Look forward, spread your wings. Then inhale, stand up tall, reach up nice and high. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Very nice. So that's our half salute to the sun. We're going to pause here in our standing position. We're just going to get into some shoulder movement. Some of our binding positions is really going to involve our arms. And so we need to loosen up the shoulders. So you might want to circle your shoulders backward and forward. You might want to exaggerate that. You can even do one at a time. Maybe just, big shoulder roll, something like that, with one shoulder both forward and backward, one at a time or both at the same time, just so you get this full awareness of your shoulders. Right there. Good. And then in your neck, just a little bit, just a gentle tipping of your ear towards the shoulder, and feel the stretch on the opposite side. Come back up to center and then do the other side. Very gentle stretch and lengthening. You can do that a couple times if you'd like on both sides. And then you might want to nod up and down. Okay, looking down, getting a stretch kind of through the back of your neck here, and then just back up to center. Down and back up. Wonderful. All right, let's continue with our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, let's fold forward, making our way back down towards toes, bent knees. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to extend your spine. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place your hands on your mat and step both feet back into plank pose until you're in a straight line. High push-up position, breathe in. We'll exhale, take a shortcut to down dog by bending your knees a little, send your hips up into the air. And there's our inverted position, downward facing dog. Take a moment to adjust your feet on your mat if you need to, then your hands. Settle into the pose. You might bend your knees here a little so that you can have a little bit more mobility in your hips, sending them up into the air, and at the same time just press a little bit more firmly into the ground with your hands. You might feel that energy and strength in your arms. And then we're going to do a little sensation with the chest. So you're going to just kind of sink your chest or lower your chest towards the floor a little bit and then kind of back out of that. Okay, just kind of this, if you need to take a peek at me at what I'm doing, I'm just sinking my chest and then I kind of get out of that. So we're doing this to provide a little bit more opening through the chest as well as the shoulders. So very gently, I'm just kind of undulating in and out of that positioning. Couple more times with that. And then hold still in down dog. We'll breathe in, preparing the body to move. As you exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up to standing, reach high. We're going to exhale and take chair pose right away, moving into series B of our sun salutation. So we're in chair pose. We're going to breathe in, then exhale, dive out of your seat, back down towards toes, forward fold. So we're just adding on. Inhale, rise up halfway, the crown of your head leading you forward. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the ground, walk or step or jump both feet back into plank pose. Once here in your straight line, breathe in. Exhale, bend your elbows so you can lower your chest down towards the ground, finishing your push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, opening up through the chest, look forward. Exhale onto your toes, lifting your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Take a moment to adjust your hands and feet, but we have our lunges here. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach, lengthen through the leg. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Next to right hand, turning left heel to the floor, putting some weight on that foot back there. Less weight in the hand so you can float your whole body up. Warrior one, facing forward. Exhale, fold, going back down. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose, bend your elbows, lower your way down. This is Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up behind you, reach back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel turns to the ground, planted firmly. Weightlessness in the hands, so you just float right up. Warrior one, facing forward, arms straight up towards the sky. Exhale, folding again. Hands down to the ground. Step back. Plank pose. Complete your series. Come on down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. So you can kind of choose that back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So a nice sun salutation, fluid motions through the body. Let's hold in down dog for a moment. And then we're going to take a seat. So feel free just to kneel down. And then just take a seat in the center of your mat and go ahead and lie down onto your back. Just going to move into bridge pose. So lying down, knees bent with feet flat on the ground, and even take a few moments here, even just a few breaths, just to actually relax. Everything releases and just softens and melts into the ground before we re-engage the body. When you are ready, go ahead and take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale to blow the air out, emptying the belly, and then lift your hips up into the air. Now you can stay just like this or involve the upper body. And we may want to do that because this will involve the shoulders. Because we do want to try to get the shoulders behind us, or in this case, underneath here. So you may have to rock your upper body left and right a little bit, or even several times, to get your shoulders underneath you. And then bend your elbows at 90 degrees. Here, press down into the ground with your elbows, and that should help stabilize more of the upper region of the body. You might even find that you can lift yourself up a little higher. So it's a very active posture. Feet rooted into the earth, as well as the arms, the back of your head gently pressing into the mat. Whole front body is lifting and opening. Deep breaths. 3 more breaths. After your third breath, just wiggle your toes forward. We're just making space so we can get out of this back bend position. Extend both arms up into the air. That should get the shoulders out from underneath you, and then roll your way down to the ground. Here, draw your knees into chest. Start to carefully rock forward and back. Make sure you're breathing in and out. Use a good exhale to rock yourself up to seated. We can come right into boat pose. If you need to kind of step into the posture or just kind of set your body up to get into the pose, perfectly fine. So you might end up something like this with your feet lifted, feet flexed, shins might be parallel to the ground. You can hold on to the legs or free up the hands like this. Okay, couple more breaths. Inhale. The exhale, just set the feet down. We're actually going to stay seated and extend the legs. Flex your feet here. Place your hands on the floor by your hips. Push down into the ground just to help extend the spine, sitting up as tall as possible. Roll shoulders back and squeeze shoulder blades together. This is kind of the action that you did when we were in bridge pose, trying to get the shoulders underneath you and even squeezing shoulder blades together. This is Dandasana, or staff pose. So just hold here for a moment. Two more breaths. So engage legs, so we're getting a bit of a stretch and engagement really in the legs. Lifted torso, deep breathing. All right, return to boat to help transition. Just bend the knees, lean back so you can easily lift the feet. We're going to move right away. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front on the mat. Step back, plank pose. Hold. And then just take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Here we are, downward facing dog. Let's continue with our lunge sequence. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. We're going to open this up. Bend your knee, bring your heel down towards your backside, lifting the knee up towards the ceiling, creating some opening through the hip. Inhale here. Exhale to unwind it and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Lifting your hands and torso up into the air, warrior one. Exhale, opening to warrior two. So let's hold here for a moment. Settling into the posture. Bending this right knee, nice lunge. Hold here. We do want to get some lengthening and opening in that front inner thigh. Let's take this to side angle, which really emphasizes this stretch. Reach forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Now this right arm might just be braced against the inner right leg, while your left hand extends up into the air. Hold here. Again, with this arm brace, it's almost like it's pressing into the leg. It opens it up, especially if you're reaching this left arm up towards the sky. Stay here, but bring this left hand down behind you, just to your low back, or even your left hip right here is fine. Low back or hip, a place where you can easily do these little circles with your shoulder. So maybe 2 or 3 of these, and then when you're finished, just hold it back behind you. So there's some opening through that tie-in between the chest and the front part of the shoulder. Let's hold here for several breaths. This is what's preparing us really for our binds. And actually, we can even call this a bind, okay? We'll inhale, re-extend left arm up into the air. Exhale, turn the body, hands down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose, pause. And again, our shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the air. Hold for a moment. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up into the air. We'll bend the knee. Heel comes down towards backside, lifting the knee a bit to get a bit of a hip opener. This is actually preparing for the hip opening portion of that warrior 2 and side angle. Inhale. As we exhale, unwind it and we'll step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the ground behind you. Inhale, float both arms up into the air. In our exhale, turning your torso sideways, arms to parallel. Here we are, warrior 2. Settle in. Good extension, reaching through the arms, lunging. All right, side angle, let's reach out over the left leg, angled upper body, rotate the arms. We'll again brace this left arm against the leg. A gentle press as if I'm moving the knee or outer left thigh towards the left side of the room. And that helps that opening of the inside of the leg. Good extension, right arm. And then same thing, staying in the angled position, but bring your right hand down behind you to your low back right here, or to your hip, whatever feels best for your shoulder, and a place where you can actually roll or circle the shoulder a few times, loosening it up, and then hold it back to help open up through the chest and shoulder. A few more breaths. And we'll move. Inhale, re-extend right arm up into the air. Exhale, let's turn, bringing the hands back down to the ground, stepping left foot back to meet the other. Let's finish the sequence coming down. Chaturanga Dandasana, bending your elbows. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reach high. And the exhale, bring your hands to heart. Hold here for a moment. All right, we're going to take this into a chair pose and a bit of a twist. I'm just going to turn sideways here. So let's go ahead and re-extend the arms up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, take your chair pose, and then once again, just bring hands back to heart center. Once in your seat, breathe in to feel more extension through the spine. Exhale, pull belly in a mild, gentle rotation or twist towards the right side of the room. It's like this. And then we're going to extend the arms. And it doesn't matter if this is my right hand, and it's kind of reaching towards you. It could, if you're rotated enough, this right hand might reach more towards the ceiling. But the rotation or the degree in which I'm rotating is not very far, so my right hand isn't reaching very high. But really just extend the arms, because you're going to take this right hand and actually bring it behind you to your low back, like so. And if this shoulder, this right shoulder seems to be dipped to the ground, see if you can just roll it back. Or we're going to re-extend right hand up into the air, turn and fold. Forward fold, so you can get this bit of a release in the low back. And then weights in the heels, bend your knees. Let's reverse the swan dive, come all the way up, extended mountain by reaching into the sky. And then right away, exhale, chair pose. Bringing hands to heart center. We're just ready to do the other side. Inhale, nice extension. Exhale, mild rotation to the left. And again, this doesn't have to be too significant of a rotation or twist, just a slight turn, okay? Then extend your arms floor to ceiling or wherever this left hand happens to be reaching. Just extend the arms and then bring left hand behind you, just resting it on your low back. And if you feel right there, it might feel ideally flat, okay? That's just telling you that your hips are aligned and even, and that's kind of ideal as well in a twist like this. Let's re-extend this left arm up. Exhale, turn and fold. We're going to continue the flow from here. Go ahead and take monkey pose, extending spine. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the floor, step both feet back, plank pose, come down, bend elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your way down. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep it moving. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach, bend and twist open. As we exhale, unwind it, step through, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants down behind you, inhale, rise. Warrior one, exhale, opening, warrior two. Now, once we're in warrior two, let's see if we can take the feet apart a little wider, not much, lunge a little deeper, okay? So just creating a little bit more sensation, just by taking the feet farther apart. Then reach forward and maybe a little bit more with the right arm, rotate arms, moving into our side angle pose. Then we're gonna bring left hand down behind. Now, like I said earlier, this could be your bind. Or you can go what I would call second bind, meaning if you're low enough, meaning if you're low like this, where your elbow is actually past your leg, then you might be able to take this arm, reach underneath your right leg and up and maybe find your left set of fingers. If not, that's okay. Keep the first variation of the pose. Or maybe you're down low like this, but you just can't reach your fingers. Perfectly fine, you don't have to. This left shoulder, we're still trying to roll it back. So if you feel like you're dipping or falling to the ground, if you need to, release the grip of the fingers so you can get the left shoulder to open up. Inhale, re-extend the arms floor to ceiling. Turn, bring hands to the floor, and then rotate the back foot so you're on your toes back there. Stay here. We're in a runner's lunge. We're going to gently set the left knee onto the ground. Flatten that foot because we're going to sit back carefully. Actually, this is where you might want to use a pillow or one of your blocks, okay? We're going to place that block or pillow on the right side because we're going to sit. I'm turning my block, if you can see this, high up like this, okay? So I can actually take a seat. I'm sitting on the block. That way there wouldn't be too much pressure in the knee and ankle of the left. All right, I call this half splits. Okay, so we're going to get a nice extension through this right leg. Now you can take your hands or fingertips on the ground, push into the ground to get lifted, and then gently fold. That should activate that engagement or stretch quality in the right hamstring. We're not going to be here too long. 2 more breaths. And then using your hands, help lift yourself back up. Just returning to maybe this position here. We have a right angle in the back leg, right angle in the front leg. Tuck your toes behind you. And we're going to lift torso, just like this. And then take arms up into the air. Inhale to reach. Exhale, engage your belly and your legs because you're going to lift yourself up to a high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor in front. Step back, plank pose. Come down, finishing the sequence, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. Feel free to rest if you need to. Grab a sip of water. When you're ready, just return, join me. We're going to inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. Exhale to unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the floor behind you. Lifting upper body, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Same thing, we're going to see if we can take this a little deeper by taking the feet a little wider. Separating the feet, lunging a little deeper. It actually brings the body a little closer to the ground. It also just adds more sensation. All right, side angle, reach forward, angled, rotate arms, reach up and down, and then bring right hand down behind you. This is what I'm going to call first bind. Stay here if you like, or go to second bind by going down lower so your left elbow is below the leg so you can actually bend the elbow. It's kind of like this little hinge, okay? So I can just swing my left hand. It's reaching towards the other side of the room, and I can reach up, maybe hook a couple of the fingers here. If you can't reach or it's too much to hook, that's okay. Roll that right shoulder back as best as you can. We're trying to open the chest towards the right side of the room. So this is a bind. We're going to inhale, re-extend the arms floor to ceiling. Turn, hands to the floor. Framing the foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. So we're in our runner's lunge. We're going for half splits. So bring the right knee to the ground. Lengthen the foot behind you. Slowly sit back. Use that pillow or block to help this seated position. It's almost like hero pose. Okay, it's like half hero and half splits because one leg is extended and the other leg is bent. Hands on the floor to help lift nice and tall. Exhale, fold a little bit. And I'm even putting a little bend in this front knee because there's nothing underneath here. I don't want that to hyperextend. And just moving into a fold in placement where I can feel that stretch and lengthening sensation in the left hamstring. Can you see? I'm sitting on the block right there, and it just lifts up the body a bit. All right, coming out of the pose, I'm just using my hands. Push to come back up to foot and knee. So we're here, tuck toes behind you, lifting upper body here. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, engage body so you can lift, pressing away from the ground, high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alrighty. Bring both knees to the ground, and you'll be in a little tabletop position, and then just kind of shift or scoot over towards the right edge of your mat, just a little bit here, and then sit back into hero. So this is what hero would be. So it's both knees underneath like this, but we're not going to stay here. You're actually, by shifting to the right side of your mat, you made space on the left side. So you're actually just going to take a seat, just sit your hips off to the left side. Both hands can be over here on the left side. Because what you're going to do is bring the right leg all the way around and step this foot over left knee or thigh. And then you might need to kind of lift yourself up so you can actually sit. And then hold on to the shin here with both hands so you can sit up nice and tall. Now we're going to twist this, and some of you might be able to bind this posture. So let's get the twisting part first. All right, first we're going to bring the right hand behind on the floor so you can actually keep lifting up through the spine. That's your inhale. Exhale, start twisting to the right. But you can even take this left arm, bend the elbow at 90 degrees, and bring this elbow to the outside of that right knee or thigh. Now this is a pretty dynamic twist. And this is where you might be able to bind the pose. So you might bring this left arm, instead of up and over the knee or thigh kind of in front of it. And again, dropping this hand. I don't know if you can see this. I really can't do this, but I'm trying to demonstrate it for you. So the left hand would actually come through. See, I'm kind of pointing through this little triangle here. So it's my left hand that will go through there. Right hand will come around from behind, and then you'll create the bind. I'm just going to kind of mimic that. So I'm just here. So my right hand is just kind of wrapped around. It's touching my left hip bone. The left arm is just kind of over this right knee, kind of holding me in place. So this is a variation of a twisted bind. Then we're going to unwind facing forward. Place the hands behind you so you can lean back to uncross the legs. Get them out in front of you. I like to do what I call a resit. Just lift and just sit back down so the sits bones are even on the ground. And then boat pose right here. All right, hold for a couple of breaths. We're going to add another posture here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring both feet to the ground. Extend the left leg forward. And we'll keep this right knee bent. We're going to do another twist with a bit of a bind. I'm just scooting forward. See how I'm kind of back like this? And if my foot is actually aligned next to my knee, right there. So I just basically lifted and shifted forward, okay? So now my foot is more on that inner thigh. This left hand into the ground to lift, extending right arm up, and then folding forward so my shoulder actually gets out past this knee here. Flip the palm to the right side of the room, bend the elbow, and wrap it around. It's another bind. Left arm behind. Now this one I think I can catch. Yes, I'm hooking my fingers behind, so I'm in a gentle twist now to the left side, but I'm also in the bind. So we just did 2 twisted binds. 2 more breaths here. You're going to release, face forward, lean back, and just return to boat pose. We're in a flow. Inhale, feel like you're lifting. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Finish the sequence. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're bringing the knees back down to the ground. We're just going to do the exact same thing other side. All right, so just scoot over towards the left edge of your mat. Sit back, hero pose, just briefly. Slide off to the right side here. And then we're taking the left leg, bringing it all the way around, step over this left knee. Then you might need to resit, lift, and sit. Hold on to the shin in front so you help sit up tall. Right hand will keep hold of this right knee or shin while left hand comes behind you, pressing into the floor to keep an extended spine. Now this could be your twist. Maybe this is it. Or take this right arm and just hug the knee, wrap it around. That works too. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to keep my right arm wrapped like this, left arm wrapped around behind, and this will be kind of my modified bind. If you can thread this hand through that knee or underneath this leg and clasp fingers, go for it. So we're twisting to the left, and then our second twist will be to the right with these binds. All right, 2 more breaths. We're unwinding. Leaning back so I can uncross the legs, resit, boat pose, briefly here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, just set the heels onto the ground. Extend the right leg forward. Keep the left knee bent. You can just hug this knee in, or what I did earlier, which is what I lifted and kind of slid into the pose. I'm leaning into my right hand. Okay, and then I'm going to extend left arm up into the air, reach forward, and I want to see if I can get this shoulder out past this left knee. Can you see that? And flip the palm away, and then I can bend or wrap this arm around the shin or knee, And then I can take now the right hand reaching behind, and I might be able to, yes, hook a couple of fingers. So I'm twisting now to the right and creating the bind. Now, another nice prop to have in this practice, which I did not mention, and I'm sorry I didn't, but maybe like a strap or a belt or something, and that will bridge the gap between your hands if you're unable to clasp fingers like this. You can use even a small hand towel. Okay, let's unbind, face forward, lean back, lift the feet, boat pose. Let's breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back, plank pose. Finish, come down. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Let's hold this fold for a moment just to get some release in the low back. Then weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Let's grow tall. Reach into the air and exhale, arms down by your side. Excellent. Let's go back to what we did a long time ago, which was let's just circle those shoulders. So now you can realize how much we're using our arms and our shoulders for those binds. So maybe go back to those circles. Roll them backward, roll them forward, or even just shrug up and down. Add the neck if you need to. Okay, just head side to side and then up and down. From here, let's just inhale, take both arms up into the air. Exhale, bring your arms down, just your arms down. And once you bring them down, start reaching behind you like this. Again, this also kind of brings those shoulders back behind you. And imagine maybe you've got something behind you that you're squeezing to hold onto, like a box or a beach ball. Stay here for a couple breaths. If you're able, interlace your fingers or continue holding on to your imaginary beach ball. Folding the fingers, you might be able to roll shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together, and that will engage those upper back muscles. Put a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, kind of puff up the chest. You might tip the chin up a little bit, and we're going to exhale and fold. Take your time. You might even pause right here. Take another breath. Inhale, reaching our knuckles away. Exhale, stay here or fold deeper. You choose. All right, now I'm able to reach my hands, my knuckles, my folded fingers up towards the ceiling. Now, if that's a little too far for you, that's okay. You can always keep the hands either just reaching behind you or down lower, closer to your back. Again, we're just opening up chest, getting into those shoulders again. 3 more breaths. After that, just going to lower your hands to your low back, release the fingers, and just drop your hands down so they just go loose. And we're going to continue our flow here. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, fold, hands to the ground. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air, bend and twist. Exhale, unwind, step through, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the ground. Reach forward, rise up. Exhale, open warrior 2. Wider stance, deeper lunge, side angle, reach out, rotate the arms. Extend up and down as you inhale. Exhale, take your bind. It could be first bind, which is this, left hand to low back, or maybe towards second bind, even if the fingers don't hook underneath you here. Roll that left shoulder back as best as you can. Couple breaths here. Inhale, re-extend, arms floor to ceiling. We're going to turn, bring the hands to the floor, one on either side of the foot, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Bring left knee to the ground. We're sitting back to Half splits. Use a pillow or block if you need to for the right side. Fold forward for a hamstring stretch. Here is where we're going to get into the twist. So rise up if you're folded, sit off to left side, just onto the floor, and then just step that right foot over, just like that. Resit if you need to. Hands on shin, sit up nice and tall. Left arm extends and then wrap it around the knee perhaps. Right hand comes down behind you. Lift. Inhale. Exhale, twist. If you can, bind or a partial bind. Even just kind of wearing your arm like a belt. Just around your back like that. Nice and tall in your torso. 2 more breaths. We're going to unwind to face forward. Lean back with your hands so you can unbind the legs. Reset. Quick boat. Here, then bring the heels down. Extend left leg forward. Keep right knee bent. Okay, left hand to the side or behind you to stay tall. Extend right arm forward, hinge forward, reach shoulder past knee so you can get into this next bind. Wrapping this arm around the leg, left hand reaching, maybe hooking fingers, sitting tall enough to twist towards left side of the room. So lots of twists going along with our binds. 1 more breath in and out. We're going to unbind, lean back, boat pose, inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands out in front, step back plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ready for the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist. Exhale, unwind, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, right heel plants. Reach forward, rise up. Exhale, open, warrior 2. Wider stance, deeper lunge, side angle, reach forward, rotate the arms, reach up and down. Then bring right hand down behind you, first bind, or take it to second bind, you choose. All right, starting our little series of binding postures. Roll this right shoulder back as best as you can. Couple more breaths. Breathe in. Exhale, unbind, re-extend arms floor to ceiling. Turn, hands to the floor, frame the left foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Gently set the right knee onto the ground. Sit back, splits, or half splits. Here, sit up tall, fold. Get a little stretch in that hamstring. Not here long. We're coming back up. You're going to sit off to the right side. Bring left foot cross over that knee. I should move so you can see me. Right there. Crossing that foot over the knee. Holding onto the shin to get up nice and tall. Extending right arm forward. Wrap it around the knee or shin. Left hand behind you to get even taller. Twist to the left. Hold. Two more breaths. We're going to unwind, lean back, resit, quick boat. Here, bring heels to the ground, extend right leg forward, keep left knee bent. Right hand behind you just to help you sit up nice and tall. Extend left arm up, hinge. Okay, this is kind of like that fold a little bit, but reaching out so the shoulder is past left knee. Wrap left arm around that shin. Right hand behind you, wear it like a belt or hook fingers. Sit up tall, twisting to the right. Few breaths. Excellent. Let's unbind, unwind, lean back, reset if you need to. Boat pose. Flowing, breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Step back, plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, walk, step or hop both feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, reach high. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side. There we are, good. Let's do a quick roll of the shoulders. All righty, getting loosened up. All right, we're gonna go through the sequence again, okay? We're gonna make it a little bit more fluid, okay? Just moving with breath. We'll get into a bind and get right out of the bind. I'm gonna add that seated twist position at the beginning of the flow here, and I've got one more pose I'm gonna add kind of near the end. All right, go ahead and get a quick sip of water. I'm just adjusting my mat. You have your blocks ready to go. Mountain pose, deep breaths. We're going to start with our chair pose with the twist both sides. Here we go. Inhale, extend arms up into the sky. Exhale, chair, take a seat, bring hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthening spine. Exhale, rotate to your right side. Extend arms floor to ceiling, or just extend the arms. And then bring right hand down behind you to low back. Roll the right shoulder away, okay, or away from the floor, roll it back. We're going to inhale, re-extend the arms, turn, just bring hands to your thigh, push into your thigh to help you roll back up to standing. Take your arms back up into the air. Inhale, exhale, chair pose again, hands to heart. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist to your left side now. Once you feel settle into the seat, extend the arms, reach, bring left hand down behind you to low back. Be aware of this left shoulder. It might be dipping to the ground. If you can, roll it back to help you open up through the body. Inhaling, re-extend the arms. Turn, hands on thigh, but we're going to fold. Just slide your hands down the leg. Forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Just extend the spine. Here we go. Exhale, plant the hands. Hop or step back, plank pose right away. Bend your elbows, coming down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Let's do our best to flow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. Unwind, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel plants. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open warrior two. Let's get a quick adjustment there. Side angle, rotate arms, reach up and down. First or second bind. I'm going towards second bind here. We're in the pose. Right here. All right, re-extend arms. We're still moving. Turn, hands to the floor. Frame this front foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Gently set left knee onto the ground. Sit back, splits. Fold. Come right back up. Sit off to left side. Right foot steps over left knee. And if you can, right into the twist and bind if you're twisting. There's the twist. Unwinding face forward, lean back, uncross the legs, resit. Quick boat pose. Heels come down. Extend left leg. Bend the right knee. Left hand behind you. Reach up, fold, bind. Now this is where we're going to add something. If you're in the bind or close to it, we're going to see if we can stay in the bind and move into boat pose from here. That means I'm bending this left knee to push back, picking up this right foot I'm still bound, and then extend or lift this left leg. So I'm in this binding boat pose with a twist. And then release the bind into boat. Good, cross legs, hands in front. Plank pose, come on down, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist. Step through, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel plants. Inhale, rise, first warrior. Exhale, open, warrior two, wide stance here, making that adjustment. Side angle, reach forward, up and down with the arms. First bind or second bind. Right hand comes down behind you, or if you're low enough, go for that bind. Roll the right shoulder back. We're still in motion, so you're going to re-extend the arms, floor to ceiling. Turn, hands to the floor. Framing the front foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Gently set the right knee onto the floor. Half splits. Sit back. Feel tall. Fold for the stretch. Come back up, sit off to right side. Step left foot over right knee. And then immediately into the twist and bind. Okay, or sort of a bind. Something like this is good. Maybe you're still able to thread. Maybe you can get this arm to go through that little space. Okay, but we're coming right out of it. Unwinding. Lean back so you can uncross the legs. Resit. Take boat pose. Bring the heels back down. Extend right leg forward. Keep left knee bent. Yes. Right hand behind you to get tall. Left arm up. Reach forward, hinging. Wrap this arm around left knee or shin, hooking fingers behind you if you're able. We're going to turn this into boat. So I'm bending the right knee, so I got the heel digging into the floor to allow me to lean back and lift this left foot. And I'm still bound here. And when I lean back, I can actually lift this right foot. It looks pretty complicated, doesn't it? Whoa, falling out of it, releasing into boat, hold, and then just bring heels to the ground. Very nice. That's our sequence. That's all we're doing. If you're sitting way back like I am on the mat, just find the center of your mat and go ahead and roll down onto your back. Hug knees into chest. All righty. Whew, good work. So, all those binds, but there was also a lot of twisting going on there too. So pretty full body workout, really, an expression of the body. Let's take happy baby pose here, taking the knees wide. You might take the feet up into the air, holding on to the soles of your feet or ankles. A little hip opener. If you'd like, take reclining cobbler's pose, soles of the feet together. You can even just set the feet onto the ground, like so it's a little bit more of a relaxed reclining cobbler's position. Some deep breaths here. And even just take note of your breathing. Going through that sequence, our heart rate might go up a little bit, the breathing might get a little faster. But now that we're moving towards the end of the practice, we can start taking those slow, deep breaths again, coming back to that baseline. 2 more breaths. And then you might bring knees together, give yourself another hug. If you'd like, you can extend the legs straight up into the air for an inversion, okay? This is a nice variation of an inverted pose. If you're comfortable in going into a shoulder stand, feel free to take shoulder stand. This is a nice alternative if you just want to lie flat on your mat. Legs extend. Hold the legs in place, or even just add some movement of your legs if you like. I like to, when my feet are free like this, it's always nice to maybe just circle the ankles. If you're in shoulder stand, you're welcome to take plow pose if you have room. A couple more breaths. And then just making your way back down to the ground with the feet and legs. And you might even just hug the knees in towards body. And then a twist, just a spinal twist, taking both knees over to the left side as you extend right arm out to the right side. Few breaths here. When you're ready, you can come back up to center, pause in center for a breath or two just to help realign the spine. And then slowly take knees over to the right side. And 2 more breaths. When you're complete, you can come back up to center. Pause there for a moment, hugging the knees in. If you'd like to, you can certainly move into another pose, another twist, or back bend, inversion, hip opener, whatever you like to do here. And then when you are complete, when you feel finished with those extra poses and movements of the body, go ahead and come to Shavasana or any other relaxing posture. Just settle yourself in, fully relaxed, disengaged muscles. Returning to the awareness of your breath, just slow, steady breaths. Once again, taking that journey inside of self. That might mean closing your eyes. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. It's very relaxing, calming of the mind and body. Even as I'm closing the practice and coming to the end of the class, if you want to stay here, you're very welcome to. And when you are ready to move, start that movement with breath, just bringing energy to the body. So maybe 5 slow, deep breaths. Even after those 5 breaths, you can just stay in Shavasana. Or perhaps after those 5 breaths, you're moving your body very slowly, starting to roll onto either side of your body into a nurturing pose. You might even pause there for a couple breaths. And then when it's time, take your time and press yourself up to seated. Find a comfortable seat on your mat. You might cross your legs. Find that re-extension of your spine. Sitting up tall, arms relaxed down by your side. You can just rest your hands in your lap or on your knees. Return to the fullness of your breath. Then we'll inhale and extend the arms up into the air. Reach high. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And just hold in stillness, breathe gently. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.